Keep me away from your pet cat. Nekopara Volume 1 is baked. Due to the preponderance of unwashed men straddling body pillows in the streets, and the apparent phenomena of the romantic relationships being formed between two-dimensional characters taking precedence over living, breathing human beings, I am forced to recognize Japan's most prolific artistic export, anime. What is anime, you ask? Well, first of all, that is one heavy-ass rock to be living under, don't you think? Second, it's a unique style of animation attributed to that overpopulated aging isle we refer to as Japan. It's featured in many of the country's shows, movies, and games. Some notable animes include Spirited Away, Cowboy Bebop, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Kogi Grease? Danganronpa! There. Oh no. Moving on, there's a type of anime that is technically a game, but is much more focused on the visuals and storyline than any actual gameplay. Thus, these games are accurately referred to as visual novels. Now, there's just one more thing you must know before we segue into the focus of this review, and that's a strange subculture of anime which insists on pushing further the boundaries of what we consider to be sexually attractive. I'm of course talking about the recent cultural obsession with nekos, or anime cat humanoids. Something of importance to note is that nekos are almost always created as physically well-endowed females because, according to recent groundbreaking scientific discoveries in the field of human behavior, men are much more outwardly perverted than women. But what happens when you combine a visual novel and nekos into one? You just so happen to get the subject of today's video, Nekopara. Nekopara, developed by NekoWorks, I mean, who else, am I right, is an adult visual novel series about nekos. I'm reviewing Volume 1. It's good. Did you like this video? Well, then, no, none of that silly shit. It's time to get serious. Let's dive right into this game and get deep into these pussies. That sounded much worse than I intended. You start the game with the logo of NekoWorks popping up with what I believe to be the voice of a Japanese person saying NekoWorks. But I don't speak Japanese, so they could just be exploiting my lingual ignorance to call me a stupid. The main menu pops up and shows a group of... Oh man. Not again. It's two. Kawaii! Chef? Chef, you alright? Chef, come on! Say something! Nathan! Nathan! My God, you guys saved me. Yeah. Thanks. Anyways, the screen shows a group of nekos. I have no idea who they are, but I'm sure I'll find out once I start the game. That last line was completely pointless. I start the game. A picture of a building named La Soleil fills the screen, and text rolls out on the bottom. I learn that the character who's talking is soon planning to open a bakery here. Eventually, he enters the building and finds two mysterious boxes with warning labels all over them. A brown-haired Neko pops out of the left box, and a white-haired one soon pops out of the other. The brown-haired one is named Chocolate, and the white-haired one Vanilla. The character who we're playing as begins to talk, and we learn that his name is... Cashew. Yes, his name is pronounced as the common nut, although it's a simple cultural issue that occurs between languages all the time. I'm starting to think that Nekoworks did this on purpose. Think of it. Cashew is one of the only guys in the entire game. Cashew is a type of nut. That is also slang for a particular appendage of the male body. Nekopara is made for perverted males. Do you know what this means? That's right, group-minded sheeple. The Illuminati is none other than a puppet of the alien Neko master race. Basically, these two Nekos will be your closest companions throughout the rest of the story. Now we shall begin the review. Let's get cooking. I just realized something. Cashew bakes and so do I. Isn't that funny? What a coincidence. I mean, what are the chances I'll stop talking now. There isn't much to say about this section. Use the mouse or keyboard to interact with the interface. I didn't really expect anything more from a visual novel. All I'm saying is that it works well, and that's pretty much it. I think I'll give this one a rating of good. Huh? Press B on the keyboard? Okay. I guess I'll try it out. I take everything back. This is a masterpiece. The plot is surprisingly enjoyable. And no, I'm not just talking about that plot. The Nekos are excessively adorable, yet not exactly intelligent, which allows for some pretty hilarious events to occur. The dialogue is great, the character is relatable, and the writing is overall very witty. I started to grow personally attached to the Nekos, as if they were family. Chocolate is definitely my favorite due to her excitable and innocent nature. Despite vanilla being my favorite flavor of ice cream in real life, I just wish everything didn't have such a light and fluffy feeling in game. But maybe that's just my true detective-esque side of me talking. Because my soul is an ever-churning cauldron of misery and despair, I sometimes imagine how tragic it'd be if one of the Nekos died in game. According to the novel's universe, Nekos grow older much faster than humans, supposedly having the lifespan of a regular cat, which is very disconcerting to me. If the cats grow older, will they start to get all sagging, wrinkly, and suffer from severe arthritis till their eventual demise? But will they simultaneously keep their insatiable need for sexual recognition and satisfaction into their oldest years? I guess some guys my age are into the drier kind of flesh romping, but not me. Basically, what do we call Nekos who've reached this point in their lives? Cougars? Long strawn out jokes aside, I'm not getting into a mental catfight when I say I give this section a great rating. I freaking adore the art style in Nekopara. The characters' movements aren't exactly realistic, but it's loads more interactive than just watching literal two-dimensional characters all the time. The parts that do utilize 2D have their purposes in terms of the story, in a way that doesn't seem like they're just drawing flat characters to avoid the 3D effects. The dialogue is also top-notch. The voice actors do a great job of getting the feeling of a particular character across, despite them all speaking a different language than mine. In fact, I'd say the dialogue is perfect. Ha 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 ha! Oh dear. Well, I'll give this section an overall good rating. The interface goes with the cutesy, absurdly feminine vibe of the whole game. The various buttons also aren't distracting while watching the story play out. There's not much the options can really accommodate for due to the relatively low-end graphics. But of course, there are some poor souls in this world that still use systems with big back monitors. A moment of silence for those still using big back monitors. Anyways, there's not much else to say except two very important words. Jiggle physics. I give this section a good rating. I hope it's no secret to those who've stuck with me so far in my incredible series that I like anime, so it wasn't hard for me to thoroughly enjoy this game. However, I try to be realistic about my ratings, for if it was only my love of anime criticizing this series, I give everything masterpiece. The price seems appropriate for a game like this, so there's not much more I can go into that topic. Now onto the DLC. Okay. Guys, stop breathing so loudly. I know you want me to mention what's on everybody's minds right now, but I won't do it. I absolutely refuse. I will not be pulled down into your endless abyss of base carnal pleasures just for you to see my reaction. No siree. I'll even download the dreaded thing to prove to you all that my tolerance of such rudimentary temptations won't derail me from a path to... It's a masterpiece. God, my invisible right arm hurts. Now, the moment you furry-loving psychopaths have been waiting for. Stock audio drumroll, please. The final verdict for Nekopara Volume 1 is... good. I didn't know Nekos could be so interesting, but I was proven wrong in the visual novel's entertaining take on the concept. It's both cute and mature, strange yet hilarious. Never too overly dramatic unless it's to make you laugh. Of course, it wasn't a perfect game, but the problems I found are mostly in relation to most other games on the market, and some insignificant nitpicky things. On the first point, it's obviously not the greatest game ever, but also far from the worst. The engaging dynamic storyline and steadfast adherence to the topic the game touches upon raise the final rating 2 notches above average. Yet compared to games that are, well, much more playable in terms of interacting and moving with your specific character every step of the way, it honestly can't reasonably hold much more weight in my eyes. However, I would be happy to play the game further, for while not a critical success, it certainly was an entertaining one. Nekopara Volume 1. You've just been baked. Hello? Wait, who is this? Hello? So it has begun. People of Earth, do not fear, for I am one of you. You may be wondering what alien monstrosity is attempting to usurp us from this beautiful planet. They are none other than a secretive race of beings living on the dark side of the moon, waiting patiently for millennia to cull their human herds. They are adorable. They are monsters. They are Nekos. But I call upon you today to not feel like one of their sheep, but as the masters of our own fate. For we are humanity, and only when we band together as one can we ever achieve anything in this world. So, will you stand by me? Will you stand against the oppression? Stand against the obsession? Will you fight to save not only yourself, but humanity as a whole? I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to Nekos. We need to build a wall along the entire outside of the Earth. And in that wall, we're going to have a big, fat, fuzzy playhouse where Nekos will have to go. If they go there, they'll have to go there legally. I mean, just look at their faces. Are those really the faces of our new alien overlords? They're bringing hairballs, they're bringing fur to our carpets, they're hentais, and some, I assume, are good kitties. but I speak to players of Nekopara and they're telling us what they're getting. Thus began the human resistance, and the first Neko-human war. These cats have no shame. Nekopara Volume 2 is baked.